My mother thinks that I'm a jerk because I hate my bleeding work. I feel like Daddy. He says, hey, the future is your big career. I reckon that you're not the puppet, but when it comes to give you death, you're talking of the love you give, you never give. I hate people. I hate the human race. I hate people, and they hate me. There's been more love than hate for Anti-Nowhere League. Despite their grotesque appearance, they hated everything and everybody. There was a natural love amongst fans. They had quite a big fan base, especially in the UK, after the big punk movement in the UK. Way after the Clash, the Sex Pistols, the Damned, all ushered in punk's first wave. There was a second wave, and Anti-Nowhere League were certainly a part of it. Nick Animal Comer was the scraggly-looking, ultra-hairy lead singer of Anti-Nowhere League. He's the one who stirred up a lot of controversy with plenty of lewd and explicit lyrics in the band's follow-up single to their second, I Hate People, which I just quoted from. I Hate People, following Anti-Nowhere League's revved-up cover of Ralph McTell's Streets of London, which was their debut single. I Hate People was released 44 years ago this week on the band's own WXYZ label, March 8, 1982. Anti-Nowhere League never turned down an opportunity to spew hate against anything or anybody. Metallica even covered the controversial So What, with all its lyrics intact about nasty, explicit acts with a minor. That got them into a lot of trouble. The song was banned outright by the BBC because of such schmut. But I Hate People was a rollicking good time, even if it didn't paint a rosy picture of anybody. But it's not only an Anti-Nowhere League song, and I did see them perform it with much of the original lineup, including Nick Animal Comer, the original singer, in a 34th anniversary tour they did for their new album at the time, The Cage. They played Reggie's Rock Club one night in May of 2016. Every bit as venomous and hairy as they were back in their heyday. But I Hate People is not just a song. A Chicago punk band, they haven't been around as long as Anti-Nowhere League, but they've been around long enough to, and I remember them, opening for Doyle von Frankenstein of the Misfits. They also played with my buddies in What during their 15th anniversary show. They go back a ways. I remember them playing the old Bada Brew in Crest Hill. This is back when the Cat 1055 was still rocking the airwaves, 2013. I talked to them last in 2024. I Hate People hopes you will take a liking to their rollicking, ruckus punk rock sound. This coming Friday night, the kickoff show of Punk Rock Taco's 2026 spring and summer season, I'll have drummer and singer No Rhythm Jim, bassist and singer Ken, and guitarist and singer Larry from I Hate People calling in just a couple of minutes to tell me about their upcoming gig at PRT number 75. If I'm not mistaken, and I do remember reading this and doing research on it, I Hate People was one of the bands scheduled to play a resurrection show for Exit. They've played there many times. The old, dilapidated, looks like a couple of nuclear warheads hit it location on North Avenue. Not the first location of Exit, of course. That never materialized, but he who was wanting to put together that resurrection of Exit show, Noah Corona, head of Punk Rock Tacos, he's going to welcome some of those bands who were to make that resurrection show list. We're going to show some more love for Kankakee's Effin' Epic, who have quite the love affair with the Morbid going on. A deadly new single from Travis, Cody Zupan, Drew Bittner. I've got it for you. Effin' Epic, of course, is from the Kankakee region, which took a pretty bad hit with an EF3 tornado this past week. I worked down near where the tornado hit, a little farther southwest of our air studios, right across from the campus of Bishop McNamara High School. They also took a hit. We got some water damage to our studios and the ceilings of several studios, but we're still on the air. St. Patrick's Day is on a Tuesday. Talk about an extensive hangover. Talk about an extensive period of missing work, because you have an extensive hangover. However you party, however you jig dance and shillelagh, you're going to have to do it inside. The weather does not merit any long-time outdoor activities, not at 28 degrees. 10 years ago this week, at the House of Blues in Chicago, different story. Corned beef and cabbage was not served up, but hot dang and cabbie were. Punch cabbie. We'll talk to the longtime veteran Chicago alternative hard rock band who pounded the foundations of the House of Blues in a special St. Patrick's Day Massacre show. Local Loft episode 421. There's no thin line between loving and hating. It's all love. It's all respect. It's all admiration for the original Chicagoland metal, punk, alternative rock, and power pop scene when you check out every episode of this podcast.
I'm working my way to this.
Punk rock tacos fly. 345 West North Avenue, Village Park, the Garden City. I hate people.
Well, they've been spewing hate for close to 16 years, but not everything in I Hate People's musical catalog is hateful. I was noticing Sunshine on My Face, for example. That's a ray of optimism, so to speak, on the band's debut album, Pound It Out. They will be pounding it out, and will make the rafters of Cemitas Poblanas vibrate and maybe come off its foundation. With my friends in Real Bad, Real Fast, the Punk Rock Tacos' first big show of 2026. Their 75th taking place this coming Friday on the 20th over at Cemitas Poblanas. And from I Hate People, we had them on just about 2 years ago. I have Ken, I have Larry, and
Jimmy.
I played a couple of tracks from your debut, and that's going on. It's been almost 13 years since you released that, Pound It Out. First of all, I want to ask you, have you been working on anything new? Sunshine on My Face seems to be one of those more positive tracks on the album. Just noticing Mistake, Head Case, Complicate, Frustrate, Sunshine on My Face, Let Me See a Beautiful Day. So you're looking for something positive here.
Yeah.
Really the only ray of optimism on the album. But have you been working on a new record? Because it's been a while since the Pounded Out record came out, like almost 13 years here. So are you working on anything new that you will play during the Punk Rock Taco 75 show this coming Friday?
We have new stuff, but we're not playing it for this show. We played it at our last show a couple years ago. Yeah, we're not doing anything new. We're just we're playing a bunch of songs from our album Pound It Out. I think every song, right?
Yeah, just about.
Close to it, I do believe.
Yeah, I think there's a couple that aren't on Pound It Out, which should be considered to people, I guess, but not to us.
Yeah, Machine and Don't Think. Those, we've never recorded those songs. We've been playing them for years, but those are fun songs to play. Yeah, Kill for Peace. We've recorded that early, on an early release. Yeah, that'll be fun. Sunshine, oddly enough, we're not playing, but I love playing that song because it's such an angry, the tune itself is angry, and so I don't know, it's just for me.
Sunshine
lot of your songs are angry, but I just noticed that one maybe offering a ray of sunshine, of positive feelings. I know you're out there. I know you got a lot of venom to spew, and certainly with this day and age of ICE and political matters and Trump and all that, you're going to be letting the sparks fly, I would imagine, this coming Friday. Have you seen your audience, your fan base increase? Does it get across to a bunch of different people, old and new, do you think, your music and its messages?
It's kind of hard to say, to be honest. Like, we haven't played in a couple of years. I think the last show was pretty. There was a lot of people there, but it's kind of hard to gauge at this point. Hopefully, we get new people.
Yeah, I always enjoy when I can tell when like people who haven't seen us before, you know, or like talking to people I know who haven't seen us or whatever, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, I wish I would have seen you guys earlier. Like, yeah, us too, but...
I know you guys go back a ways because I remember you playing Bonneville and Crest Hill, and this is when the Cat 1055 was still around, 2012, 2013. And I know you opened for Doyle Van Frankenstein of the Misfits. I know that the fan base has got to be a mixed bag, I would say, but it's going to be a mixed bag of punk performers, punk rock bands, not just you, but Real Bad, Real Fast. I don't know if you caught these guys. I just talked to them last week. They played an anti-ICE immigration benefit show out at Valhalla in Oak Park. First time I talked to them in 6 years, and they are riled up. It's going to be one night of pogoing, headbanging, supremacy. And no Corona, he's behind you all the way, and I mean, the shows he puts on, and I know you guys go back to the exit days, too. You've been there on the battlegrounds, It's going to be another great night of local punk rock excellence. You can find out more about the show by going to Punk Rock Taco's Facebook page, or you can check out I Hate People's Facebook page. And I want to thank Ken and Larry and Jim from I Hate People. Guys, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Tim.
No problem.
Separate connection.
If you want a long, unbreakable lease in your apartment, I suggest you don't crank that one up too high. If the group's name doesn't give you a hint as to what's going to happen in the future of your living space, the Evictions, they won't evict themselves out of punk rock tacos at Cemitas Poblanas for the kickoff show and the 75th overall for Noah Corona's ongoing, unbreakable, nutritious musical outing at Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park. It's not going to be outdoors right away. It'll be indoors this coming Friday, the 20th. The Evictions, along with Real Bad, Real Fast, and I Hate People. I want to thank No Rhythm Jim, Larry, and Ken from IHP for talking to us about their upcoming show. After the Evictions do eventually move out of Cemitas Poblanas without an escort from their landlord, they will wrestle with the moshers and the pogoers and surroundings of Liars Club. I do emphasize the word wrestle. They're opening for Handsome Dick Manitoba, original singer and founding member of the Dictators. Manitoba, he takes his wrestling pride just as seriously as his musical past. He's dressed as a wrestler on Go Girl Crazy, the first Dictators album from 1975. You've gotten used to his voice, if not from his taunts of other wrestlers, but his former evening shift on Little Steven's Underground Garage on Sirius XM 21, because he was once a DJ there. That show on Saturday, March 27th. Go to reggieslive.com for more details. None of my friends in F and Epic were evicted from their houses by Mother Nature's fury this past week. If you haven't heard by now, an EF3 tornado, a pretty nasty one with 150-mile-per-hour winds, hit on the south side of Kankakee, down by the Kankakee County Fairgrounds, and especially Aroma Park. Travis and Cody Zupan and Drew Bittner, they all hail from the Mantino area, and while they did get quite a lot of damage there, and even Bradley and Bourbonnais close to Kankakee, it wasn't as massive as was Aroma Park. There's been federal disaster relief that's been requested by the governor. It's a pretty hairy situation down there. I drove down there the day after it happened, and because I had some radio duties to do. Our 3-station studios sustained some water damage in the ceiling. Bishop McNamara High School next door, right across the street, they took a pretty bad hit as well from strong straight-line winds, which included a couple of skylights on their basketball gymnasium blown off. They're starting to repair. F and Epic blew in like a metal hurricane, rocking the foundations, the outdoor ones, at Estival Festival last September when I caught up with them. And they have a new single out from a band who proclaim buzz at their birth, buzz at their death, enjoy all the good times, and fuck all the rest. In their brand new single, they want to let you know that, buzzed or not, your death is going to be quite a gruesome and not so pleasant experience. They posted their latest single on YouTube this past week, and they've added 3 more from the upcoming 3rd EP, You Will Die. No specific release date on it yet. Of course, if you do get buzzed past your birth, and I mean excessively buzzed, expect this to happen. If it doesn't happen from the stomach up through the lungs and into the toilet, it just might happen in the cranial area. Brain spew. It's not a Green Day cover. It's new F and Epic on Local Loft.
3rd year here, still here, fucking having a good time with you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate you here right now. We're F and Epic from right here in Kankakee. Next one is not a nod to Green Day. This is Brain Spew, not Brain Stew. Check it out.
mental. I tried to give it up, but I was feeling sentimental. We drank at Delilah's, the coke with the bottle. We went to go to Liars, but we most said it's a pothole. Switching takes a good meal to some little red pill, staying in on Friday night, Netflix and chill. Become a homosexual, tickets for the metro, buying stuff on Facebook, I'm looking for some retro. Non-hetero, I'm a Chicago punk rock warrior. 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 Getting something new though, I always get to go back to the crib and I listen to some Crudo. Afternoon, I'm hanging with the goons, drink a case of PVR, listen to some tunes. Saw a bunch of bands at the riots in the park. We had to take an Uber cause there was nowhere to park after dark. The bouncer said our liquor had to go into the bin, and Dougie had a ticket but they wouldn't let him in, oh no. Cause he's a naughty boy. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior.
Way before they sunk their teeth into Trouble. Tracy Trouble, that is, who is now their new bass player. Plateau, sucking up the atmosphere around the greater north side of Chicago. Now that Tracy is the brand new bass player of the band, they go into battle once again as Punk Rock Warriors. That's the name of their new track, which they premiered their new music video for last night at Right B Cider, 1830 North Costner in Chicago. And from there, Plateau's debut EP will be officially released Friday, March 26th, and their release show that night is at Empty Bottle. You can go to Plateau's Facebook page or Tracy Trouble for more details about it. If you're ready to sink eyes, ears, and especially dancing feet into 9 straight days of power pop, mostly, but not totally from Chicago, international pop overthrow, coming your way next month, starting on Friday, April 17th. The Spindles are a recurring act who's been there the last 5 years. March marks the second year anniversary of the death of Raspberry's founder, singer Eric Carmen. Carmen not only would make a name for himself with the band who produced the top 10 single Go All The Way in 1972, the Side 3 album, which is definitely their best, and Hardest Rocking in 1973, but he was big as a solo act. 1976 with All By Myself, and its rather classical Rachmaninovian middle section. And then he appealed to the Patrick Swayze in you all, or is it the Jennifer Grey in you all, with Hungry Eyes, which was a top 10 hit from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. The Spindles do a very respectable job of covering one of the hardest rocking songs the Raspberries ever did, the lead-off track to the Side 3 album, Tonight. Now that also was covered by Off-Broadway for a Raspberries Preserved tribute album that was out in 1998. I actually got a copy of that CD from Off-Broadway's former manager Paul Hamer at the time, as he made it possible for me to introduce them on stage twice at Fitzgerald's in Berwyn during their reunion show in 1996 and 97. The Spindles come very close to the Raspberries original, but I want to play you a song from them, and they will be playing IPO at Montrose Saloon, the 2026 edition, on April 24th at 9 p.m. My buds in Space Age Zeros will also be there, as will Bishop's Fair Double Stunt Club. I'll be getting to the very first act to play this year's IPO after we check out the Spindles. Despite its title, there's no battle of the bands going on here. Prisoner of War from the Spindles at IPO 2026 local law.
I'm a prisoner. wrong. I was cheated of my youth so long. So I've been looking up to see faces and memories. I broke the stove, getting used to eating dinner cold. No other people were soft than me. Listen, I'll have my peace. Go on, take a night. Oh, give it love, give it time. You'll find. Oh, you wanna give enough. You wanna give enough. Left alone, couldn't bring myself to pick up the phone. And I could feel the frost under my feet, dead ends and frozen dreams. Go on, take a night. Oh, give it love, give it time. You'll find. Oh, you wanna give enough. You wanna give enough.
Holy Jethro Tull. Is that a flute I hear? Could be a mellotron actually, but it's a nice little mixture of 60s, 70s psychedelia and 90s grunge. They bill themselves as a grunge psychedelic act. The Alpine Subs will be opening this year's edition of International Pop Overthrow on Friday, April 17th at Montrose Saloon. There's just a sample of it. I haven't heard flute that prominent in a song since, well, not only Tull, but Jefferson Airplane back in the late 60s. Up with the Geese is the 5th studio album from Alpine Subs. They released it in March of last year. The whole album is very mixed as far as its sound goes. It's got a nice Weezer-ish Say It Ain't So vibe to it, but again, that flute, that mellotron, or that mellotron masquerading as a flute, makes it very unique. For more details, go to their Facebook page, Alpine Subs, or internationalpopoverthrow.com for the complete schedule of all 9 days, April 17th through the 25th. They just came along too late to ever be considered for video airplay on MTV. But I must say, Flatfoot 56 has been really conjuring up a lot of memories of ages past. And we don't just mean the good old days of yore in Ireland. As St. Patrick's Day approaches us, once again, bundle up if you're going out anywhere on St. Pat's Day. All the corned beef and cabbage in your system is not going to warm you up too much to avoid a deep freeze. Unfortunately, Mother Nature is not making it warm for anybody. Southside Irish Parade went off without a hitch today. Maybe a couple of spits of drizzle here and there. It was an age-old tradition for me to see Flatfoot 56 as the house band at Ballydoyle Irish Pub in Downers Grove on St. Pat's Day. If you're going down there, be prepared to go down very early, and I might even camp out overnight. Bundle up. You don't want to get first-degree frostbite. It's only going to be, wind chills in the -10s and lows in the teens, and a high of 27 on Tuesday. They celebrated St. Pat's Day a bit early this year, playing Reggie's this past weekend. That was on Friday. It was on Saturday the 14th. If your St. Pat's hangover lasts much longer than Tuesday, you can check out Flatfoot 56 across the border, not the Irish border now, in Logansport, Indiana. They're playing on Saturday the 21st at the Record Farm. I brought up being too late to get on MTV because only 2 years ago they did a cover of Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue, which sounds nothing like the original. Very Celtic, punk. Would you expect anything less from Tobin Banquets and Company of Flatfoot 56? I don't think so. Sticking with one of their great originals, this one actually made it on to the soundtrack of Sons of Anarchy Season 3, just 2 years ago. Way of the Sun, Flatfoot 56 on Local Loft.
I'm a pilgrim and the sun was soaring past slow and still, walking past crowded masses with a cold and pale. Now we'll go the way, and very few have gone before me past today. I want so much more, so spend the time calling out what others have said. The day will rise and fall again, or so I have read. I will do not weep, past all this false critique that joys my strength. I'll ask for nothing more. I do not weep, past all this false critique. Stone wall faces, I'll be kicking down the door. I will go the way of the sun, and I will go the way of the sun. So my love, come and take my hand, walking down this road. I believe in a foreign land, better than we know, where we stand secure. No pain is not, so we walk the way through the shadow of death, pressing on through times full of violent thunder, storming no pulling punches through all of this mess. I will go the way of the sun, and I will go the way of the sun, and I will go the way of the sun, and I will go the way of the sun. From all that I've been through, you'll never get nowhere in life if you can't follow through. searching and hoping to find. I don't know where to start. I still don't know where to begin. I don't know how to fight. I know that I'm still gonna win. Yeah. Selling my soul, it's a devil I owe. Well, I'm starting on a dirty lie. You don't know what it's like. I took the chance and I did the dance, but I really couldn't do the time. You don't know wrong from right. I don't know where to start. I still don't know where to begin. I don't know how to fight. I know that I'm still gonna win. Just can't seem to help myself. I keep falling upon my face. You don't know what it's like. Too much time just to realize I keep feeling out of place. You don't know wrong from right. I don't know where to start. I still don't know where to begin. I don't know how to fight. I know that I'm still gonna win. Selling my soul, it's a devil I owe. Well, I'm starting on a dirty lie. You don't know what it's like. You know, I took the chance and I did the dance, but I really couldn't do the time. You don't know wrong from right. I don't know where to start. I still don't know where to begin. I don't know how to fight. I know that I'm still gonna win. Keep searching and searching and searching and searching. Love and fight. Keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Searching down the line. Out in the cold where the nights run deep. Yeah. Pushing on down the line.
It's classic rock that really rocks and is not restricted by a limited, overblown corporate radio playlist. Way before their time. When Cutlass first got together in 1986, Triumph had been together 10 years already and had released their album The Sport of Kings. They were going for a more pop-friendly hard rock direction. But tell me that singer Jeff Hundreiser definitely has that high-pitched, high-energy Rick Emmett vocal style to him. Or is it Geddy Lee? I always get those two mixed up because they sound so damn similar. It's definitely Rick Emmett. But this came about a good 5 years after Triumph's big album Allied Forces was out with Magic Power and Say Goodbye and Fight the Good Fight, and 7 years after Just a Game, their breakthrough album with Lay It on the Line and Hold On. but it has that very similar vocal style for Jeff Hundreiser, the original singer. Cutlass is celebrating their 40th anniversary with a big upcoming show, May 16th at 20 D's in Elmwood Park, and they're bringing along the Midnight Calls with Taran de Pablos. You can go to Cutlass, and you spell that C-U, 2 T's, L-N-A, and 2 S's, that Facebook page, or cutlassband.com for more details. One of the songs off their 2025 comeback album, We Played You Out in the Cold. I figured for those of you who can't adapt Johnny on the Spot like a jackrabbit to these changing weather conditions. As I speak, and I'm doing this part of Local Loft 421, temperature has gone from 60 fucking degrees down to 35, and I guess we're gonna have blizzard after blizzard tomorrow. So good luck trying to get out anywhere, even putting a toenail outside your fucking front steps. But moving on musically, and how did I miss this? When last I heard from Mel Flowers, she was guitarist in the Fiction We Create, and I saw them play live at the Hell on Earth Metal Fest at Magoo's Bar and Grill in Bedford Park, 5 minutes away from Midway Airport. This was the fall, October of 2024. Mel was first known as Melissa Nestor in her days with Ornaco, the Joliet hardcore band, when she was briefly married to Josh Nestor, one of the members of Ornaco. But so much has changed since then, and her latest project, certainly more sophisticated and progressive than what we heard with the Fiction We Create, a melodic hardcore metal band. This is a very extensive affair, and they've only had one EP out in 5 years. Their Volume 1 EP was released in August of 2021. There's a couple of songs over 12 minutes long. Definitely the instrument playing on here takes center stage, more so over the vocal style. But even that, a far cry from Skylar Jensen, the former singer of Punch Cabbie. We'll be getting to them in our Rock Back, a special 10th anniversary St. Patrick's Day show they did at House of Blues. Mel is now bassist in The Waterfall King. But Mel has been bassist of this trio even when the Fiction We Create was up and rocking. I'll play an example of both bands to let you know just how radically different they are. First, The Waterfall King. This leads off their one and only EP, Volume 1, Filth. The Waterfall King featuring Mel Flowers on bass, Local Loft.
Swing
can't escape this pain. Every gorgeous sees of your suffering continues this horrid refrain. When did I become my own enemy? Grow low where my arms should rest. My mind's constantly distressed. In the sorrow of reminiscence, embrace the facts I can't dismiss. Oh, I am the darkness that keeps plaguing my life, seeping through my soul, losing all control. I am the sickness that can't remain confined. My end is dawning, the void's calling. Feeling numb after all the dopamine. Show a fake smile so no one questions me. A silent war underneath my skin. It won't be long till the reaper wins. Feeling pressure that I can't resist. Grip smelling, I'm burning the crime. In the sorrow and reminiscence, embrace the facts I can't dismiss. I am the darkness that keeps plaguing my life, seeping through my soul, losing all control. I am the sickness that can't remain confined. My end is dawning, the void's calling. Let my cross my own and back inside. Place the void between my eyes. Don't hesitate, I spoke the lie. I lack the courage for suicide. The void was my own and to die. Place the void between my eyes. I am the darkness. I am the sickness. I am the darkness that keeps plaguing my life, seeping through my soul, losing all control. I am the sickness that can't remain confined. My end is dawning, the void is calling. Seeping through my soul, losing all control. My end is dawning, the void's calling.
Too many bigots for my liking, too many critics for my liking. Love and avoid. The Fiction Recreate has tossed the bigots and the critics aside and continues to rock on with an interchangeable lineup. A little different from what I saw in October of 2024 at the Hell on Earth Metal Fest, Magoo's Bar and Grill in Bedford Park. Mel Flowers was guitarist of the band at that time. She also was bassist for the Waterfall King. A very unique, eclectic, progressive, doom metal trio. With the passionate, emotional singing of Maureen Benosa, they certainly sound anything but a hardcore metal, a hardcore new metal band. A far cry from the screaming, angry vocal of Skylar Jensen, former singer of Punch Cabby. We'll be getting to them in our rock back, as it was a special 10th anniversary St. Patrick's show they threw at the House of Blues. The Fiction Recreate will heat up the festivities alongside such pop metal giants as Tantric, June 5th through the 7th in Ohio, Blazing Summerfest, and for more details about that, you can go to their Facebook page, The Fiction We Create. The Waterfall King along with Indine, playing at Malt and Malice, Black Lung in Grays Lake, Saturday, April 18th. Go to the Waterfall Kings Facebook page for more about that. So what is your style? Progressive doom metal? Is it something more heavy? Whatever your vocal, guitar, or overall music style is, it needs to be heard around the world. Get me Tim Lamping your music at local Loft. MP3 waiver FLAC or a CD vinyl LP cassette reel-to-reel tape, timlamp1 at yahoo.com, timcatdj@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a mailing address before you send me any physical stuff. Download every episode of Local Loft on podbean.com. Stream it on YouTube or the Podbean app. Skylar Jensen continues to rock on and express himself with angry, unclean vocals in the fiction we create. No fiction about this, however. Skylar was the second prominent lead singer for Punch Cabby not too long ago. 10 years ago, he and Frank Pecoraro and Mike Sather, Jarrett Roberts was their original lead singer. But the band featuring Skylar Jensen jig danced their way into House of Blues for a special St. Patrick's Night show and blew the roof off the place. We rock back to that. March 17th, 2016. It's Tim Lamping, and I'm backstage at Brower House in Lombard with the band who's about to take the world by storm, just like they did LA back in 2011. Yeah. They actually won the Best Metal Band at the LA Music Awards. Now Punch Cabby, I have most of them here with me.
Oh, you got all of them.
Singer Skylar Jensen, you're the newcomer of the bunch. Frank Pecoraro, yes. Ronnie Salinko. Mike Sather, I talked to him on the phone at our old station, the Cat 105.5, and Ryan Wagner.
That's me.
Let me ask you about your newest endeavor here, and there have been plenty of endeavors. You've got plenty of endorsements. I mean, Coldcock Whiskey has supported you for a while, but now 313 Entertainment. How did you get started with them? They promised to provide you worldwide distribution and maybe a new full-length CD in the works. What about them do you think best helps you get ahead in your careers?
Probably the best thing with 313, basically the whole distribution aspect of it. That's what we got is a distribution deal with them. What the deal is basically they're going to put us out there, and they're going to put us out there worldwide. And it's not going to be just small stuff. It's going to be music choice, touch tunes, AMI. It's going to be all this stuff. And then we have the name attached to that, which a bunch of bands are on 313, which is like Taproot, Blue Felix. So, I mean, literally we get to attach our names, things like that, and then push from there. That's what the whole deal is we get to move from there and get to go and say, hey, we're with this, and then go.
And it's actually a distribution deal through E1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's distributed through E1 through 313. So it's kind of a double action deal we got going there. It's coming along. There's going to be a lot of announcements coming up.
Shit ton.
In the next couple months, we've got release dates. We're actually going in for pre-production. Coming the end of April, we should be going in, starting on pre-production and we're supposed to have 25 songs done by April and start production soon.
We're working on that. So it's going.
atmosphere absorbs you.
Part of your future tour schedule may be the Vans Warped Tour. I did see that link that you want people to vote for you to get on that. How's that going to help further expand your music, do you think?
Vans Warped Tour is one of the big U.S. touring music festivals that the United States has. Probably one of the very few that the United States has when it comes to hard rock and metal. With Warped Tour the way it is now, it's targeting a lot of the younger generations. Since I'm 23 years old, so I'm part of that generation. So we're just furthering that push, and just sending our music to new viewers.
It's gonna help because when we played Mayhem Fest in 2015, it basically opened up doors to a whole new different level of fans. Even in the business, it opens up different doors. So just by playing Mayhem Fest, it opened up tons of doors. So if we can get on more festivals, stuff like that, that's what we want, because that's actually where the scene is. The scene's at the festival. That's like the new thing,
Plus, with Open Air Festival coming to Chicago, it's one of those, an actual taste that the United States gets that Europe normally gets. A big festival, hard rock and metal festival like that coming to Chicago, nonetheless, that's a really huge thing for the movement, which is really good.
You just might see Punch Cabbie on one of the big stages at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Tinley Park. I was about to say First Midwest Bank Amphitheater. That thing has changed names more times than people change underwear. What can I say? July 23rd. July 23rd is the date that Punch Cabbie hopes to get on. So, guys, good luck to anything you do in the future. And you've been big for a long time. This band is massive. There's a lot more good things down the line. Wish you all the best of luck, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.